Hello, my name is Dave Ramirez. I'm one of the program supervisors here at Intervision. I'm going to be showing you a couple things you can do in the Paycom app. I'm going to show you, number one, how to clock in, how to clock out. Number two, I'm going to show you how to do a punch change request. When one of your supervisors requests that you submit a punch change request, whether it be that you didn't have service or you had issues logging into your Paycom app, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to correctly submit a punch change request. So let's get straight into the video and let's go. So here we are on the Paycom app. I have a 4-digit PIN to get into mine. You go ahead and you use your passcode or however you log in. Some people use their thumbprint, whatever works for you. Go ahead. After you set up your credentials, go ahead and log in. So I'm going to go ahead and log into mine. So you're going to be brought to this page here. It's going to be employee self-service, mileage tracker. We're going to go ahead and click on employee service. Okay, so you should be brought down to this page. It'll give you the time management function, the time off request, information, payroll, expenses, documents, checklists, so on and so forth. For this video, we're going to go into time management. And once you click on time management, it should bring you up to the next page. You'll see read timesheet only. You'll see web time clock for punching in and punching out. We're going to go ahead and use the web time clock function. And let's click on that and it'll direct us to the next page. Okay. So you're going to see this pop up. It's going to say time clock. It's going to be the time zone that you're in currently, the time that's on currently going. It's going to have your most recent punch in or punch out. I punched out for the day. So you'll have allocations, department, labor allocations, and job. So at the bottom, you'll see recent punches, and it'll give you a list of punches. If you've already worked shifts in the past, you'll see your most recent ones, including date and time that you clocked in and clocked out. So for my start time, I'm gonna go ahead and just clock in. So when you're clocking in for a shift, make sure that you are aware that make sure that you are aware of a couple things, that you understand what service you are providing to what office you're working for or working from, and then making sure that you put the client's name, information, so that way the management team member is aware of the shift that you're covering or that you're working, or so on and so forth. I'm gonna go ahead and clock in. Before I clock in, I want to make sure all my credentials or all my information is accurate here. So let's say you're working with a client and their community integration. You would click on community integration. If you are working with a client and their services that are being provided are independent living services, you go ahead and you hit that. Whether you are providing the service like PASS is personal assistance services. So here in the Whittier office, we have community integration, which is CIT. We have independent living service, which is ILS. And we also have PASS, which is personal assistance services. Now, you are going to input the correct information that applies to you when clocking into your shift. So let's say you're going to work with a client that's community integration. You go ahead and hit community integration. For labor allocation, this is just giving you the option to submit the allocation, the labor allocation for the office that you're working for. For me, it'll be Whittier office. If you're in LA, then you will hit LA. If you're in El Monte and you're servicing a client in El Monte area, you would input El Monte. So for me, it's Whittier. I'm going to hit Whittier. Okay. And then for job, I'm going to go ahead and select the client that I'm working with or what applies to you. It could be a client or it could be a no-show. It could be, training. You would use that. So we'll go through these clock ins and clock outs. For me, I'm going to go ahead and just put admin mileage because I didn't work with anybody. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that. But if you were to work with a client, you would make sure that you would put your client's name. If for whatever reason you can't find them, a quicker way to search for the client is to maybe just type in a name and the client will pop up. You'll get many options with the name, with the first name or similar to the first name, starting with an F. It doesn't have to be that. But for me, I'm just going to go ahead and just leave it at admin mileage. Again, it's just an example. I didn't really work with admin mileage, obviously. You would have to choose the client that you're working with. So there you go. And make sure you double check, make sure that all the information is correct. Making sure that the service you're providing is correct, making sure the office you're working for is correct, making sure that the client you're working with is correct. Sometimes you'll run into issues or you don't know what service you're providing that day. And if that's the case, then make sure you reach out to your program supervisor. Usually you can check your face sheet. It'll tell you the service you are providing. However, there are clients with multiple services. So maybe, depending on the day of the week, they get a different service. Depending on the day of the month, they're getting a different service. We have clients with multiple services. Sometimes they got community integration and they got ILS, which is independent living services. So make sure that you double check your face sheet. If you still not too sure, you can always reach out to your program supervisor and they'll be happy to help you. So I'm going to go ahead and click in day. And there you go. And that's how you submit a punch in. Now, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to go ahead and review the most recent punches. Okay. So you're going to see this down arrow right next to the punch you just submitted. You click on the down arrow and this pencil icon should pop up. Now, let's say that you made a mistake on your clock in, or let's say you forgot to clock in, or let's say you clocked in but forgot to clock out. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to push on the pencil icon. The pencil icon will take you to the next page where you can make the punch edit request. So this pertains to my second topic that I'm going to be discussing and that I'm going to be showing you how to do is how to submit a punch change request. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the pencil icon and I'm going to show you how to submit a punch change request. So here we go. Hit the pencil icon. You'll see that this will pop up. It says request punch edit, which is saying that you're going to make an edit to the punch that you just made, whether it be an error, whether you forgot to clock in because there was no service, or something happened where you couldn't get to your phone, you couldn't log in, there was something, a typo, you forgot your password, whatever the case may be, you're going to see that punch in. Now, first thing you're going to see is date. So make sure that you're paying attention to what date you're editing on. You don't just want to submit an edit for a different day, or maybe submit multiple punches for the same day. If you get a phone call or a message stating that you need to submit a punch change request for the 7th of May or another day of the week, so for me today it's the 9th. And somebody from management text message me or gives me a phone call telling me, hey, you forgot to punch out for the day. Can you submit a punch change request for the 8th, right? Let's just say the 8th, for example, and go ahead and clock out for your shift with whoever it is you're working with. So I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to go ahead and figure out, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and submit a punch change request for a different date, right? So you hit this, you're going to hit the calendar icon. It should be on the right hand side, and this will pop up. You'll get a calendar of the most recent weeks or the week that we're currently in. You can go ahead and choose whatever one applies to you. So like, let's say I clocked out, or I forgot to clock out on Sunday the 8th. And I'm gonna be submitting a punch change request for Sunday the 8th. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit the 8th, right? And then you're gonna see that the date changed to the date, which is Sunday the 8th. And let's say I forgot to punch in for this request here. So I'm gonna go ahead and I don't know, let's say I forgot to punch in, right? Let's say I forgot to punch out for that 8th, right? And the Sunday the 8th, let's just say I started my day at 9. My shift started at 9 a.m. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that this is on in. You get a bunch of different options. So if you're gonna punch in, you make sure you punch in, you put in day. So that's when you're gonna start your day. If you need to submit a punch change request for a clock out, you're gonna make sure that you submit a out day. So that means that you're punching out. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep it at in day, and I'm gonna put the time. So I'm gonna go ahead and type in the time that I started. Let's say I started at 9 a.m. right? And I'm gonna go here. You're gonna see allocations. So you're gonna click on the blue highlighted area, and this should pop up. All right, it's gonna give me an option. Now it might not look the same to you. It might just all be blank. So you might see it all blank. There's no edits there made. Now, because I made this edit today and I made it right now, it's gonna show the most recent punches. Now, let's say you know, this is a good example. Like, let's say you forgot or you made a mistake on a punch in, an allocation. You put the incorrect client, you put the incorrect office. This is where you will go to make the edit as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you. Like, let's say, well, I wasn't working with a client community integration. Let's say I was working ILS. So I would go here on 202, so independent living services. I didn't work with Whittier that day, so I'm gonna go ahead and I worked with the LA office that day. So I'm gonna go ahead and make the change there, and then again under job, you should see a list of clients' names. Again, you can type in a name, first name. Sometimes maybe using a last name will get you there faster, but you'll go around here and you'll see a client's name. Now, another thing is you gotta keep in mind, a lot of our clients have multiple services. So you might have two of the same client. It might not be, the same job code there. So make sure that you keep in mind that when you're submitting a change like that, especially for a client, that you're making sure you're choosing the correct client. And just make sure that everything's correct. I'm going to go ahead and just leave that alone. And then once you're done making the allocation edits, you go ahead and push update. Okay. Then you'll be brought back to this page here. You're going to go ahead and right under allocation, it says reason for punch change request. Now you can put whatever your reason may be. Maybe you could say it was no service, maybe you could say forgot to punch in, forgot to punch out, whatever your reasoning may be. Or you could put was having issues logging into Paycom, whatever the reason is. And then you go ahead, and once you know all the information is correct, the date, the in time or out time, and then all the allocation information, whether it be CIT, ILS, or pass, and then the reasoning, whether it be no service or whether it be problems logging in. After you know everything's correct and you've done everything you inputted all the correct information, you go ahead and put add request. Then you're gonna get this pop-up like that. It's gonna take you back and it's gonna say save punch request. So it's gonna give you a confirmation that it saved your edit and that it's ready to be reviewed by the management team. And then you'll see here all the most recent punches. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how you submit a punch change request. That's how you clock in, how you clock out. So if you have any questions, make sure you reach out to your program supervisor and they'll be more than happy to assist you or answer any of the questions that you may have. Another thing is too, like when you're submitting a punch change request or you were having issues with logging into your Paycom, make sure you reach out to your program supervisor as well. They'll be able to assist you and they keep track of all that information. That way, in the future, if you ever decide to need some help or you need some information, make sure you reach out to a management team member or program supervisor and just letting them know that you're making the edits, so that way they're aware. Because they're going to go over the time card, they're going to go over your timesheets or your cars, your consumer attendance records, and they're going to try and match your clock-ins with your consumer attendance records. They might have questions regarding why there was a different start time, why you didn't clock in, so it's always good to give the management team a heads up, just letting them know that what to expect. That way they're not wondering what's going on, and all the information is accurate. You don't want to come across any issues with your paycheck or anything like that. Obviously, everything is double checked and triple checked to make sure everything is accurate and all the information is correct. But that's it for me. That'll do it for this video. I'm gonna go ahead and just end it here. Again, if you have any questions, make sure that you are reaching out to your program supervisor so they can assist you with anything relating to Paycom, whether it be clocking in, clocking out, some information that you might not be aware of as far as clients information like job codes, service type of services, or anything like that. So that'll do it for me, and I'll see you on the next one, and thank you for watching.